latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a review on a kind of new tent from Kampa. So this here is the Kampa Studland 8 Air. Some of you may be thinking, well, why is it new? In many ways, the Studland's been a model that Kampa have done for many years now, but it's basically been reintroduced into the 22 collection. So for 21, we saw it have a bit of a hiatus year. It was a model that, you know, predates sort of 2020, always back to Christ when they did a polled version of it many moons ago. So what we've got really here is kind of a very more price pointed Studland. So you've got features in there we've kind of known and loved for many years with the Studlands, but something that's maybe been stripped back a bit more down to the bare essentials, and then not so much kind of as high a level of spec as we've kind of known in previous years. So why this is, basically it's down to creating something that's a bit more kind of available to the masses. It makes the tent a little bit lighter as well. So we're looking around now at about a 68 denier fabric, which means brings the overall weight of the whole tent down to 34 kilograms, which is about 20% of what it used to be. So it, like I said, it has had a bit of a diet in that sense. We've still got 3 zones: big sleeping area, living area, and obviously then enclosed canopy area. This really is kind of the bigger brother to the Kampa Kroid. So if you want something a bit bigger than the Kroid, a bit more spacious and a few more extra features, then that's where this probably takes onus. Really, you've got a sort of 6 berth at the back and an extra 2 bedroom included in for the main living area. You've got obviously this beautiful kind of grey material, really nice and waterproof, around about 3,000 to 4,000 mil hydrostatic head, and then it's done pitched quite simply by one person. We've done our own Attwoolls pitching and packing videos on this model, and I pitched the model on my own, best part of probably about 12 minutes in total, pegged up, pumped up. So it means it's brilliant for going away for a weekend as well as those week-long trips. Each beam's done individually and comes supplied with a manual hand pump. You've got kind of sort of 4 main points to peg really. So you've got little webbing straps that are colour-coded in yellow, which are your main bits first. I personally tend to favour doing the main 6 corners, front 2, back 2, and then obviously where front 2 where the ground sheet is sewn in. Obviously I've got those in the wrong order, but you get the gist. What makes this a little bit different as well is that we've kind of got things like toggle up curtains, toggle dividers, which helps obviously to make the pack weight and pack size as well, more importantly, a bit more kind of usable. Over the front, as you can see here, we've got the kind of 3-stage door system. So the door can be open obviously from left to right or even right to left. So the joys of you can actually dictate how and what manner you want to set the Studland up in. You've got curtains for the front door as well, and each point toggles back as you see. You've got additional zips as well. So what you can do is create a little kind of almost kind of veranda kind of feel to it. And there's got little clips there, retaining clips, just to make sure that front panel stays in place as you're zipping. So you can drop that down, a little bit of airflow into the tent as well. The joys actually is of the front door now is actually that it's completely removable. So if you wanted to create this big open canopy, you can also do so. New for 22, they've also introduced the ability of adding a front awning, which is like a university kind of fit. I believe it fits the Kroid as well as the Studland, because the widths are not too dissimilar. This is about a 450 width. I think the Kroid's around about the 310 mark. 410 mark. So they do a 400 canopy and a universal 300 canopy. And in theory, we're yet to test this, to be honest with you. The canopy should also predate any models, and basically it's got a front enclosed fit, and we've got a separate video of that anyway, so you can always check that out. But it enables you to almost open it up and then create an elongated kind of front area to make the tent even bigger if you wished. Other things to note are things like the mesh panels located obviously in both the kind of canopy area and also the main living area, which is probably an absolute stake in kind of what Studland was definitely renowned for. You've got that scenario but on both sides as well. You've got a rain-safe canopy door on the side here, combat with a mesh door as well, so you can have good amount of circulation into tent regardless of what the weather's doing. You can walk in there here and the weather's not going to kind of follow you in as well. Other things to take note on is that we've got the ability to add storm straps to it. So traditionally in previous years webbing straps were included. Now they buy an addition. Again, it's just kind of stripping it back to the thing. So you can buy a pair for the front, just to give a bit more bracing and a bit more structure, and also a pair for the back. So again, you can find those in the link below, all related in the products that we have. So overall, that's kind of the outskirts of kind of the Studland, but let's have a little look on the inside and talk more through a few more features that it has to offer. So now inside the Studland, what I've done is actually dropped the door, unzipped it, and basically just dropped it to the floor for the time being, just to kind of give you guys a bit more of an idea of how kind of the sizing of it is. Now we've done that, it kind of opens up, and then you've got a lovely big kind of open canopy. Bit cleaner as well, the fact you can detach the actual door itself, roll it in the corner, and do what you need to with it. So a really good depth on the actual Studland as well, which has always been one of its best points really, is that you've got plenty of room throughout the tent itself. Now, you can buy additional footprint, which then the ground sheet comes in for the front section. So that is kind of additional you can look at. And again, it toggles in the corner as well to try and give it a bit more of a feel of a sewn in ground sheet as you kind of overlips it. Now, mesh on the side as well, which creates great ventilation like we talked about. Perfect for kind of cooking and having a bit more of an airflow in. Alternatively, if you want to keep the weather out, you can just zip that up completely. Like that, nice and neatly. You've also got curtains wherever you've got windows, so you can get your privacy along with the side. Like we said, we saw at the front doors, you've got the privacy curtains there, and again, you've got it on the side door windows here as well. So you've got two positions you can kind of bring it down to, so you can kind of do almost like a half and half, or obviously drop that down, roll it back like we have on the other window here. Other things to mention as well in the canopy section, if you've got obviously a hanging point for a lantern located here, and Velcro tabs which allow it to bring down to the base, so you can still run the cable up to it. Also located on the beam here, which you get throughout the tent as we go back, is the Velcro that for the Flexi Saber lights, which work really nicely, so you link them up and obviously then cable them up together, so you've got lighting throughout the tent. Now we move into the kind of the main living area section. We've got a full mesh door built into the actual tent here as well. Crystal clear windows as well to get plenty of light in as and when we need to. The door, actually, the main solid door can actually be brought sort of halfway, and then you've got a sort of, again, a lip-free access into the actual tent as well. So this point here can basically go up and down. Also, it's got a halfway point, so you can have half up and half down. We've got Velcro that attaches onto it as well, so when you've got the solid, the mesh door in place, that will Velcro to the bottom of that to give that seal when it's physically up. But for the time being, we'll enter the tent like so. And straight away, the first thing we kind of see is that we've got kind of the main bedroom into the main living area. So with this, obviously it comes included with the actual tent, but you can pretty much choose whether you would rather have, you know, a larger living area or sacrifice that and have someone sleeping in here to kind of give you space. You've got a full headroom height, and actually you'll quite happily take a sort of double air bed in there as well. And there's pockets built into that at the back. Again, you can zip it up. It's kind of a darker material as well to hopefully mean that whoever's sleeping inside can get a bit of a better night's kip. And the other thing to bear in mind, I would also say as well, is that what you could also do is almost use it as a storage tent if you wanted to. Amelia is probably a little bit big for that, but it's another option. You know, everyone uses their own tent in different manners. So I'll just toggle that back, just to kind of give you a bit more of an idea about the space inside and open up a little bit more. You know, because this bedroom pretty much does take nearly up a quarter of the whole living space, so it's quite a chunk, you know, of usable space that essentially you can gain back, sort of if you wish to use it. So now we kind of dropped up, it opens up a little bit more. In the front section where we've got the windows here, you also got privacy curtains. Again, they're all toggle throughout, so you can pretty much drop those as you see fit. And again, just kind of allow a little bit more light into the tent as we go here. So living area space is quite decent. You know, you've got plenty of room. Again, it's one thing that it has over the Croy that has a little bit larger dimension, not only width, but also in depth. So that does act as a benefit. The other thing as well is you've got two doors. You've got one with the rain safe door, which we saw on the outside, and then a secondary door on this side as well. So better airflow, more features involved in comparison to its little kind of sister, the Croyd. Hanging point again for lanterns, as well as Velcro tabs in the main living area. And actually, to be fair, you've got it on every beam pretty much here, so it gives you the flexibility of putting lighting where you want it to be. The back section, as we talked about, is kind of a darker materials bedroom section. So you've got essentially a 2, 2, and a 2 at the back with the additional 2 in living area. Dividers between them are kind of toggled, so you can take them in or take them out. So you can have it as one big open bedroom if you wanted to, or be it a 4-2, 2 and a 4, or separate 2s as we kind of got it here as well. Storage pockets are built into the bedroom itself. So we've got storage pockets in the back centre. On the right hand side, again, 2 pockets down there, and I'll bring the camera in a second just to kind of show you. You've also got a cable entry point for your mains hookup, which we've got located down the bottom here. So it means you can quite happily bring the cable in regardless of kind of where, you know, on pitch you are. So let's pick the camera up now and talk for a few more features and kind of get a bit more of a feel for the actual new Studland as well. So, as you can see, kind of that canopy depth is quite decent. The window scenario, which you've got obviously mesh on both sides, so you've got so both, it's almost basically a perfect kind of mirror image what you've got there. So you've got the ability of having airflow in the tent in the main living area as well as the outside. And also at the top there, you've got a ventilation point located there as well to help airflow. So that's sort of a big bonus. Bedroom wise, like I said, you've got a much darker bedrooms, dividers as you can see located. And then the bedroom we've just kind of folded away for the time being. That side door, which is obviously got there as well. And then you've also got the one, and that one's got mesh. So the one on the brow panel has got mesh, where in comparison to the one on this left-hand side, as we look at it now, doesn't. Good sturdy beams, and again, you've got the Velcro tabs located there going up. The bedroom clips are color coordinated as well, so if you ever were to remove it, you can quite happily see where they go. Storage pockets located down the bottom as well, just to kind of give declutter the main part of the actual tent as well. And you've got sort of, obviously, a bit more visible pullers to kind of see where it needs to go. As we talked about, there's Velcro, so we've got Velcro on the underside here, just to get you, use the saber lights if you wished. But today we'll have a little walk around the tent, just to kind of get a bit more of a space idea. So we come out the side door. Also, you've got a nice big vent at the back, as you can see. And then you've got the storm straps located at the top if you want to kind of get that extra bit of stability, which, I would probably recommend for the additional cost that it's worth. I would say it's definitely worth getting it. And then again, you've got that brow canopy on the side. But you can see how kind of nice and open it is, especially when you remove that front door as we come round. Like I said, just dropped on the floor for the time being. It just looks very clean, very nice. And the colour schemes are really quite nice. The ability to, the fact you can add that extra sort of front awning onto it as well, just kind of means you can elongate it and make more usable space. And that's where, as I said earlier, it would actually quite nicely flow with an extra front door onto it. It would make that canopy area very sizable. Overall, I think you've almost got to think of it pretty much as a new tent. Even though the name necessarily stays, it's a completely different animal, really. Different kind of level of spec. Same kind of features, scattered around it. It's got essence of the old Studland, but what you're sort of sacrificing is almost spec in a certain way for not necessarily quality, but more spec for lightness, more convenience of packing away, smaller pack size. So that's what kind of offsetting of it. So overall, I think it's a nice tent. It's certainly a big tent, certainly for size, space. You've got plenty of room here. And from a price point of view as well, it's not necessarily going to break the bank in comparison to what the high spec one would necessarily be. So overall, quite like it. Certainly one we look to have up on our indoor display showroom if we can. So by all means, if you want more information about this as well as the package deals we do with it, you can always check the link below this video, and by all means, comment in the box below what you think of it, how you feel of it, whether you like it, whether you prefer the old version. It's always good to have feedback, good and bad, on the actual tent as well. But overall, that is our video review of the brand new Kampa Studland 8 Air.